Apparently I was fucking muted. God bless it all. Alright. I got it.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, hey, what the fuck? And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, balderdash.
There we go. Eventually I'll get into the actual muscle memory of doing that correctly. Anywho, I hope everybody's doing good. Goodness, I got so many tabs open to complain about. I got to figure out where I'm starting with. Well, off what I normally share, I found a crazy TikTok that just makes me wonder what the fuck is happening. So, if I can find it on here, I'll show you. There we go.
They're over here at a special ops house, dude, at a soldier's home, taking pictures of his kids.
Here's what we know so far. 2 Chechen men who spoke broken English were found near the soldier's home. His family alleges the suspected intruder, 35-year-old Ramzan Daryev of Chicago, was taking photos of their children. When confronted near a power line in a wooded part of the property, an altercation ensued and Daryev was shot several times at close range. A second man, Jankutov Adsalon, was in a vehicle some distance from the incident. He was questioned by
Holy shit, at his house taking pictures of his kids.
Office is leading the
I mean, if they're not doing surveillance and shit, I don't know what the hell's going on. But I'm telling you, man, they're coming.
I told Fox.
They're over.
See, that's some crazy shit, though, because granted, this is not what I normally report on and bitch about, but this is some weird shit. Some Chechen motherfuckers decided they were going to go to, he's like a colonel of like some special forces group. Like, what was he thinking? Like, the colonel, like, he's a colonel of special forces or whatever in our military, and these Chechen guys decided they're going to go to his fucking house and take pictures. Did they not know whose lawn they were on? That's crazy. Right? I kind of want to put more in there, but I didn't want to overwhelm everybody. There's so many scandals put in there. I just had to like just go at a few and just randomly pick. But like, that's crazy. But they're like taking pictures of his property, taking pictures of his family and shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like there's more to the story. I don't know if we're going to find it out, but that's crazy because I don't know if this guy killed the wrong person, pissed off the Russians, whatever the hell he did to have these Chechen motherfuckers coming to his property taking pictures and doing weird ass shit. But I feel like more shit's going to happen. I feel like this is not a one and done situation. I really don't think it is. Like, that's just too weird. And supposedly these Chechen guys, they belong to some kind of electrical company that's Russian based, but like operated here in the US. I believe they said. And they tried, I guess the authorities and the news tried to call this electric company these guys supposedly worked at, and nobody would answer. I'm like, what? What? It's crazy. I really hope they follow up and tell us more because that's just insane. Anywho, all right. So let's see. What's the next thing? Just close that down. I should close them down as I'm going through it. Okay. Actually, and this one I want to share with y'all too. This is getting back towards stuff I actually normally would share, but yeah, I know we all make. Hello, Keely Chow. Hello, Daniel. How are you? Yeah. I know we all make fun of what's her name, AOC, but I actually really agree with something she said in an interview recently. I'm actually really surprised, and I really fucking agree with her. I know it's a weird day. I didn't know this is something I would ever say, but here we are. So let's play it, and let's hope I don't get in trouble for it. All right. The mouse is like walking up on me.
It's not just about Israel. It's not just about Gaza. This is about us, because this is U.S. taxpayer assistance and what is being financed with our resources.
Mhm.
And if anything, if any conflict is going to have US resources, then it does become a matter of our values.
Yep.
And if we are to protect democracy worldwide, we have to show what democracy is good for. And to me, showing the value of democracy is a commitment to human rights, to the sanctity of civil rights, the rules of war, and to ensure that people, at the end of the day, that the humanity of innocent populations is preserved and protected at all costs.
And she's right. If it's our tax money, our weapons, then it is our fucking business. And how it's handled is our business and our problem. She's absolutely right. I mean, I know I added a couple of words that she didn't, but you get the gist of it. She's absolutely right. We can't just be blindly funding shit and not be, have some responsibility in it. So. Let's see. What's the next thing I want to tackle? Oh, yeah. So they're arguing over whether or not the International Crime Court has any jurisdiction in this mess. Yes, they do. They're trying to argue that they don't. Here's the thing. I wish she had as much respect for civil rights. I assume she does. But, I don't know. With all the things going bad, maybe this is her time to shine. Right? Exactly. And I was very proud of her in that moment. In that particular clip, I was very proud of what she said. She's very much correct. And the people she's, not towing the line for are trying to fund another candidate to try to get her and her friends out of office. And so, again, that's just more foreign interference, and I'm just really not digging it at all. But let's see. There was something. Oh, yeah. Let me present screen. Oh, there it is. That's not the same thing. Hold on. I have like multiple tabs open. There we go. All right. So Lindsey Graham, this fucking idiot here. Yeah, he posted, I've been in close contact with members of the House and Senate in both sides of the aisle to sanction the ICC for announcing arrest warrants for the Prime Minister and Defense Minister of Israel. The ICC's decision was made in bad faith and completely ignored the Rome Statute. First off, clearly he's not read the fucking Rome Statute. I'm gonna guess, but it's like, you guys can go read it. Israel and the United States are robust democracies. No, they're fucking not. No, they're not. In the past, the ICC has threatened action against our soldiers in Afghanistan. Yes, they did threaten action against our soldiers in Afghanistan. Because some of the soldiers were raping people. One girl was raped and set on fire along with her family. She was 14 years old. So yes, the ICC threatened operations or threatened against some of our soldiers in Afghanistan. Yes, because they fucking did insane shit. So yeah, they ought to be punished. There's no excuse for raping and killing 14-year-old girls. There's not. So fuck Lindsey Graham. I wish he would explain why, if he had any, if he was not being one-sided. Maybe he should explain why the ICC wanted to go after our soldiers. I mean, if you're thinking so star-spangled fucking fabulous that our soldiers do things like that. Anyway, so of course this guy pops up. I love the fact that AIPAC Tracker, or whatever it is, pops up and lets me know how much money the Israeli lobby has given them. So far he's gotten over $1 million. I love that picture too. That's perfect. That's fucking perfect. But let's see, where is it? There was a mouse. I really don't know why my mouse doesn't work correctly, but all right, here we go. So this is down for everybody to read. So basically the concept is that Israel is saying that the ICC has no jurisdiction in Israel. But the funny thing is, the Israeli soldiers are going over the border into Palestine. Palestine, the ICC does have jurisdiction. So technically, the crimes are being committed on Palestinian soil, not Israeli soil. But, I'm sure that they will argue that left and right. And some guy who's a spokesman for the White House yesterday or today was basically explaining that, ICC doesn't have any jurisdiction there. And then this guy's like, well, who does? And he goes, oh, Israel does, and we do, and we go, we do, and well, I mean, because our equipment's there, which was like, I think he was trying to backtrack on that one, because you know the question that's coming next is, well, then do something. But yeah. So okay, so pause that, and then we'll close it. Let's see where. Oh, so before I hold on, let me get over here. Oh, I think she has a newfound respect for the First Amendment at the very least right now. Considering that, like, her being outspoken has been trying to, try to get her kicked out of office. Second Amendment, I don't know. Like I say, AOC is not perfect, not by a long shot. But in that moment, she is correct. If our money is going over there and our equipment's going over there, then we do have. Then it is our fucking problem and it is our business. Absolutely. They say the ICC doesn't BC either country. Well, actually, I do believe that Palestine does fall under the ICC jurisdiction. Well, they're trying to say that it doesn't, but they try. Let me see. Let me see if I can look it up. Because I do believe Palestine tried to join the UN and something else back in like 2015, and like they were basically told they couldn't. So I really find this is a kind of a weird situation. The two main culprits for preventing a country from having, basically sitting at the table and joining the party is America, Israel, and the UK just kind of does whatever they're told. They really don't, I don't know. They're just kind of mimicking and parroting whatever America says, because the UK is kind of, well, we know what they are. Anyway, oh, hello, comic. Oh, okay, okay. I was a little confused on that.
Do you think we're gonna go get Dee Dee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Hold on a second, y'all. All right. Sorry about that. Damn. Rude ass. Sorry. I got fussed at because I didn't answer my phone earlier. And it's like, yeah, I was cooking. My bad. I didn't hear it. Anywho. All right. So let's get to. Man, I'm starting to get a thumping headache, to be honest. I will try to keep this as short as I possibly can. For all our sakes. Because I want to bitch and complain. Y'all are nice enough to hear me out. And my head is thumping. So. Freedom! I could almost see like the Mel Gibson face with the blue paint. Yeah. Righto. All right. So let's jump in this. I guess we'll start at this angle and work our way over. All right. I can't play these obviously because I think it's kind of dumb that you can't play like a clip of the news on YouTube. I think that's so dumb. Anyway, but they're saying that Qatar's payments to Hamas was not the right policy. Well, I mean, you're not wrong. But the funny part of that, well, let's see. It's partially because Israel was encouraging Qatar to pay Hamas. But let's see. So Qatar is a tiny nation that just out of the Arabian Peninsula, about twice the size of Delaware, with 300,000 citizens. Blah, blah. Let's see if we get to. Let's see. Nearly 2,000 Hamas militants stormed into Israel, killing 1,400 people. Which actually, let's see. How old is this article? Because that's been redacted. Hold on. How old is this article? Oh, okay, it's before the redaction and the they dropped the number down. I don't know. I probably should have read this, but usually I go by the headlines and then we can just read it together. But if you look it up, you will find that Netanyahu had been paying Hamas for years, and even encouraged Qatar to do so, which I thought was a little fucking weird. Because like, why would he have them help with that? Like, I don't really understand why. The only thing I can think of is that it's a controlled opposition situation, because if you constantly have some, like, if you ever watch social media and you see that there is always somebody on there that constantly is having conflicts with other people, they're constantly, getting into it with somebody, and they're like, look how they're picking on me, look how they're doing this to me, and there's I know at least one or two YouTubers I've seen. I don't speak to them anymore, but I think we've all seen somebody who does that. Now imagine that on a larger scale. Someone who's in charge of, oh, holy shit, 11 people. Fuck. Oh, wow. Now I got stage fright. What the fuck? I was expecting that. Yes, exactly. It was a controlled opposition situation, because back when Yasser Arafat was still alive, he was trying to also get a Palestinian state established. And of course, he got poisoned with, I forget what it's called. It's not plutonium, but it sounds similar, like polonium or something like that. It's something that apparently is very popular to slip in someone's food or drink, and it like takes a few days to kill them. And apparently, it's quite gruesome and somewhat radioactive. Anyway, so yeah, his Yasser Arafat's nephew and his I think some like personal assistant or fucking whatever he is to Yasser Arafat helped do this. Now I know you might be like, how do you know that? Because they had an interview with them, and they were fighting tooth and nail not to have his body exhumed. Because if someone killed my uncle, I would want an autopsy. I would want to know who killed him and what happened. I would want to know. So the fact that he was fighting tooth and nail and fighting Yasser Arafat's widow to not have the exhumation tells me pretty much what I need to know. And he was also quoted to say that if they allowed the test and the autopsy to be done, it would destroy the peace talks. Well, fuck, you might as well just spell it out in neon letters with that one. So there has been an on again, off again situation with sabotaging a two-state solution. It has, and the fact that like the amount of control that is going on in our country is insane. Like, I'm against any foreign interference. And I thought my fellow Republicans were too, because that's all, for years, that's all they barked about was foreign interference, this and that. And suddenly now they got their fucking knee pads ready. And I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. I didn't know that that's what, I mean, if you want to meld into another country, just say so. But let's not call this something other than what it is. All right, I wish maybe we can play a little of this. Give myself a thumping headache anyway, so I need to like stop raising my voice much. Let's see. I cannot pronounce this. Is a director of Breaking the Silence, an organization of Israeli veterans opposed to the occupation of Gaza and the West Bank. Didn't really tell much more than that. Apparently, this is one of those things we'll have to watch. So, maybe I can freeze bits and pieces of it. We can look at it, and then, like, when the person she's interviewing is talking, then we can just listen to that.
Breaking the Silence, an organization of Israeli veterans opposed. This incredibly.
At least it has captions, though.
Inside.
I'm kind of waiting for her to stop talking so he can speak.
You know, I'm sitting here in Tel Aviv, and we're speaking. I have a 6-month-old baby that was born into war. Rockets were there from the moment he saw this world. Friends of mine were killed on October 7th. I know families who are crying over their loved ones. And I understand in the deepest way possible the fear and even wish for.
I'm just gonna mute it every once in a while. You can still see the captions, but I just don't want to get in trouble with YouTube.
And the destruction is just something that I feel I cannot be silent about anymore. I believe wholeheartedly that we Israelis have the right for security. I just don't believe that what we're doing in Gaza is helping our security. And I fear that this government is drunk on revenge and inability to bring back our hostages. And in that sense, the ceasefire call has to go hand in hand with bring them home. Those things do not contradict. I feel that my government sees them as a contradiction, and that's why I felt I need to say my part.
And I agree. People do have a right to the security, but like he said, they've gone overboard, and I thought so too. But I'm waiting for someone to call him anti-Semitic for it. Anywho, now there's this. Let's see. I'm just thumping headache. It's like I can almost hear a pulsation in my ears. So I'm not as chipper about this as I usually am. Let's see. Yeah, I came across this and it was talking about the Abraham Accords. And I was wondering, because it mentioned October 7th, if by some chance that part of this was to sabotage that. So this is in 2024. And so there seems to be some possibility because apparently in 2021, Netanyahu almost killed the Abraham Accords because he had cold feet about it. So what if part of this was to sabotage that? Sometimes people don't want peace because there's money in war. And there's status in war and drama. Because think about it, if everything was peaceful, what would everybody be doing? Our governments would be bored, there wouldn't be as much money being shuffled through. The rich wage war. It's always the poor that die. But the rich like their wars. And it gives them the reason to stay in office. As far as I know, the fact that I think there was supposed to be an election in Ukraine recently. And it was suspended because of the war, of course. So guess who is technically in office without being elected or reelected? And he still wants more money. So I think part of this was, this whole mess was to help screw up the Abraham Accords. Because they had been working on it for years. Or some version of the Abraham Accords. I don't know I'm curious how big Rafa is because they've supposedly been going into Rafa for days. Like, how fucking big is that place? 171,000 people. Let's see. Oh, but there's like 1.4 million sheltered there. Let me see how big it actually is. Well, it's telling us like population and like its location, but I don't know. Oh, okay. So this is basically it. They must be doing it at a very slow pace because they have been. And don't get me wrong, I don't want them to rush through and hurt people. Like, I don't want that. I don't know. Seems like it's being talked about a lot for such a small, tiny area. Put these down. This fucking twat here. Tom Cotton says, help me. Republican Senator warns ICC prosecutor, target Israel and will target you. I can't believe this shit's going on. I can't believe I fucking live on the same planet as these people. Like, I understand the ICC itself is new. Relatively new, because I think it started in like 2002. But the concept of the ICC has been around for a long time. It started really getting the concept of the Hague got started a little after World War I and definitely after World War II when they were trying to figure out what to do in case people did insane fucking shit. So an international crime court, one kind or another, has more or less been thrown together in the cases of things going on in World War One, the World War II thing, while that went on. There was the Bosnian genocide stuff going on in the early 90s. And it was like some guy called Slobodan Milosevic or something like that. I'm not sure if it's Vic or Vitch, but you get what I mean. And he died in 2006 before they could actually hand down a judgment on him. But the point is, we've all, for the longest time, have pretty much agreed that, it seems to be all right to have some kind of international crime court where really bad people can go. What amazes me is that Lindsey Graham had the audacity to say that basically, that we shouldn't listen to the ICC. They're not legitimate, all kinds of shit. When just last year he was praising the ICC because there was talk they were going to issue an arrest warrant for Putin. So he loved them then. He thought they were legitimate then. It's amazing how somebody will flip-flop on that. And what does make me wonder, let me see if I can go back and find this real quick for y'all. Hold up. Is it here? It's here. I probably misplaced it. No, I did not misplace it. Oh, Lindsey Graham had said, if the ICC is allowed to threaten Israel's leaders, then we know that America is next. Apparently, Lindsey Graham said it, and now Speaker Mike Johnson has basically said the same thing. Now, to me, I find that weird. And the reason being is, let's say, let me go find the right tab here. Let's look at BK. Let's say BK Dan here robbed a bank. And he's about to get arrested. And I say, oh no, if BK gets arrested, I'm next. Well, that'd be a weird fucking thing to say unless I did something I wasn't supposed to, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be if I didn't do anything wrong, that would be a really odd thing for me to fucking say. Oh, thank you, Comic Crusader. Thank you. Sorry. I was on the other page. I can't see what's going on, so I have to get caught up real quick. I don't either generally, but I do kind of look at what they're saying, seeing if there's any inconsistencies in their stories. Sometimes it's not always what they say, it's what they don't say. Sometimes they tell the truth but lie about who it's about. So that's always kind of interesting. Oh, yeah, that's no joke. Absolutely true. We are entertainment for those sick rich people. You're right. Right? It's not even like armed people. Yeah, they call it the ICC, but it's the ICC or the ICCJ. Like, it's a tomato sort of thing. Right. But you get what I mean, though. Because if I haven't committed a crime or wasn't involved in some way, it would be really weird for me to go, well, if he gets in trouble, I'm next. Bruh, you're telling on yourself. You know what I mean? I really feel that Lindsey Graham and Mike Johnson absolutely are telling on themselves. Because, is this it? Yes. Okay. Because I knew Mike Johnson was trouble from the very first day he got into Speaker of the House. I knew. And I've actually been looking for the footage I saw the day he was elected. Because thankfully I didn't really have anything to do that day, so I just watched it. Well, bits and pieces of it, because, an hour or two long is a bit much. But anyway, it just, I don't know, when he got elected, a lot of people seemed really happy. Some of the weirdest of the Republicans, some of the weirdest of the Democrats seemed really fucking happy to see him. In fact, Nancy Pelosi, and this is what sealed it for me that very first day, she looked happy. She was standing and applauding for him. As he was walking by, I'm trying to find the footage and I couldn't. She even gave him a pat on the shoulder as he's walking past. She looked so happy. I'm like, you know what? That's a red flag if ever I've seen it. If Nancy Pelosi looks absolutely fucking thrilled to have you on board, there's something wrong. I'm sorry, but yeah, there's something wrong. What was it that Carlton, it's a comedian, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he said anytime you hear the word bipartisan in politics, it means it's an unusually larger conspiracy to screw you over. George Carlin, that's it, George Carlin. And he's right, is right. He's still correct about that. Yeah, if they look like they're getting along about something, it means that they're going to do some extra shit to fuck you over. because very rare has ever the government come together on both sides in such a great way to benefit us. Let's be honest about that. And so, I mean, honestly, like, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but I swear to God, I will not lose any sleep if someone takes one for the team and goes and gets Lindsey Graham and fucking Mike Johnson here. I mean, beat their ass at the very least. Beat their ass. Anything past that, whatever. I don't know anything. But holy crap, because we're just going to sit here and get ourselves screwed over. They keep us broke. They keep us constantly, like, on this hamster wheel trying to keep up stuff that's impossible to keep up with while they're fucking us over. Almost nobody has time to actually go over there and give them hell. And then when someone does, the media spins it in such a way that, you know, makes anybody who steps out of line look bad. That, you know, and so we're kind of really fucked. I'm not even sure there really is anything that can be done anymore. Like, I think we've reached a point that really there's nowhere. I mean, we can drag our heels and slow it down, but I don't think there's anything stopping it. I mean, we got all these people like running for office saying they're going to make a change. No, they're fucking not. Last time someone tried to make a change, they got shot in Dallas. His brother got shot later on. After that, everybody kind of got in line and kind of watched their step. I don't know. I mean, the thing with Nixon was kind of interesting. Everybody seemed to like him, even though we were given the impression that they didn't. But apparently he had a very high rating of appeal to the people. And then before even like actually going to trial or anything, he just quits. And we end up with Gerald Ford, I believe. And apparently he wasn't even elected. I thought Gerald Ford must have been elected or something, but I heard Tucker Carlson talking about that he actually wasn't. And nobody really questioned it. And I'm like, the fuck? But yeah, I really think Tom Cotton here, Lindsey Graham, and Mike Johnson should just renounce your citizenship and just go move to Israel. You know, if that's what you want to do. Because you care more about that country than you do about the Constitution you swore upon. Ours. I do not believe in divided loyalties. I don't care if that sounds anti-Semitic. I don't care. I think if you're in an elected office, you should not have dual citizenship. I don't care if it's fucking Scotland or Ireland. I don't care. I don't think you should be able to just run to another country or get support of another country if you fuck up in government here. No. And I don't know why the Republicans have absolutely lost their fucking minds. I think they're afraid they're going to offend Jesus if they don't support Israel blindly on every single thing they do. That is insane. Those people who are doing terrible things do not represent religion itself any more than any politician here who says God sent him and God wants him to run for office. I don't necessarily believe that either. Fuck my headache. And this, actually, I came across this, and this made me think about the shit going on in Israel right now. And I know that sounds really weird, but let me explain. So, Israel says land of Palestine is all theirs, which actually, from my understanding of the Bible, Israel was only a very small piece, and then there was like the kingdom of Judea, and there was this, and there was that. So there was actually different pieces. Israel was not the whole bloody thing from top to bottom. It wasn't. But if you Google it, because I've talked to some of y'all about this before, but if you Google it, and you can just pick a year. Like Israeli settlers burn olive trees, say 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, whatever. Any year on that. And you will find there's articles for it. They have burnt trees. Sorry, my phone's acting up. Apologies. Anyway, but if you look it up, some of the olive trees they burnt, some of them were like 500 years old. Can you imagine setting fire to something that's 500 years old? I love old things. I love antiques. I love old things. The older, the better. There was when this stuff in October kicked off, they took out one church that was 800 years old. They took out another one that was about 400 years old. They demolished it. They bombed it and demolished it. And it made me think of this. Because in this story, I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but you probably have. There was a claim brought before King Solomon. These two women said that this child is mine. And both the women basically argued back and forth. And the king said, all right, get me a sword and I will cut the child in half. And you each can have one half of the child. The other woman said, fine, get the sword, let's do it. The other one was like, no, I love him, I don't want him to die. I'll let her have him, I just want him to live. And King Solomon knew that was the true mother. Because the true mother, when something truly is yours and you truly do love it, you do not want harm to come to it. And that's why I have a hard time believing what the European Israelis, their claim, because they have absolutely caused absolute destruction. They have destroyed part of what makes that land great, that historical stuff about that land. They've destroyed it. They set fire to olive trees that are older than America. They have bombed fucking churches that possibly could have been built around some of the times the people in the Bible were still alive. And they destroyed it. If you truly love something and it's truly a part of who you are, why would you destroy something like that? That's why I don't believe it. They say we'll know them by their fruits. But yeah, when I saw the King Solomon thing, that's what it made me think of. I'm more likely to believe it's truly theirs if they actually loved it and cared for it and tried to protect it and all its historical significance, which is part of what their whole claim is historical significance. That's their whole argument. They just destroyed everything that's historically significant so they can build brand new condominiums. For God's sakes, that's insane. Oh, and Ted Cruz has completely lost his fucking mind. Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, Secretary of State Blinken are sparring during a hearing Tuesday. And where is it? Where is it in the article? I don't see it. That's weird because it was there and I'm not seeing it listed as much. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Because is it not working? Well, all right. Apparently this is just shit. So anyway, apparently I think Ted Cruz is accusing Biden of funding Hamas attack on October 7th, which is a very fucking weird thing to say. I mean, don't get me wrong, I hate Biden. Don't get me wrong, but that's just such a bizarre fucking thing to say. Like, what? Anyway. Oh, and apparently Israeli military has a potential mutiny on their hands. Israeli military probes video appearing to show a reservist calling for a mutiny against the defense minister. For those who don't know, I think that's the guy that was claiming we have a list, and it turned out it was just a calendar in Arabic. Let me scroll down because I think they have a picture of him somewhere. This guy in the blue shirt, I do believe that is the defense minister. So apparently, yeah, I think he's wanting to quit too, actually. But yeah, but apparently the guy is in the Guardian. But yeah, he's there with his gun, and he's basically saying that they cannot be stopped, and we're going to show you how. Let's see, Jews win, I believe, is what he said. I said, we are reserve soldiers. We reserve soldiers do not intend to hand over the keys to any Palestinian authority. Well, nobody said they were going to. I mean, people want that. A lot of people do. But Israel and America basically were arguing over which one of those was going to be in charge of that. So I don't know, this guy, I think he's just some kind of fucking pain in the ass that's just there to start shit. But if it is a true mutiny, that's going to mean that the IDF is so fucking out of control that it started rebelling against its own government, which is going to be pretty fucking bad. It'd be interesting to watch, though. Might just watch it implode on itself, I guess. I don't know. I was looking at the history of the ICC. Oh my god, my headache. Holy fuck. Ugh. Yeah, I was more reading up on the shit. Oh yeah, it's a little bit on Milosevic. That's what it is. I think it was something like that. But yeah, it's basically what I bitch about them, I guess. But I do think it's interesting that the Hamas war worsened challenges facing the Abraham Accord, something that Netanyahu seemed kind of hesitant about in the first place. So it just seems like there's a lot of motive to damage the Abraham Accord. But yeah, figured I'd just bring those headlines to people's attention and they can just, go check it out, read up the stuff for yourself. Hold on. The thumping headache. Holy shit. Hello. I cannot pronounce that, but hello and how are you? Oh, I can guess. I believe TikTok refers to them as the blue and white country. Yep. That's what I figured. In fact, actually, interesting enough, and I'd have to go dig around and find it, but he'd even discussed the possibility of, I think he wrote a book, Netanyahu did, wrote a book, like, I think it came out in like 1999 or something, like, I can't remember exactly when, but it was before September 11th happened, and I think it was talking about having terrorists take down the World Trade Center. Isn't that oddly specific? And then there was an interview sometime later where he talked about what happened on 9/11 being very financially beneficial to Israel. And those are things you can look up. I am not lying to you. I don't know if YouTube will have it. They might. You might just try like Bing. You might try Google, but you gotta have to realize that the article will probably be pushed way down at the bottom of the results. But I just the coincidence of that is just it's odd that he would be so oddly specific on that. Say, oh well, this or that doesn't happen, they might attack the World Trade Center. Well, fuck me. Imagine that. And I do believe there was some shit going on a little before September 11th, and they were Israeli nationals here pretending to be artists. Well, I mean, I guess it could have been artists, but it wasn't all they were doing. But they were in the World Trade Center, and they managed, of course, not to be there when the shit happened, of course. And before anybody gets upset, no, I do not dislike Jews. I have no problem with Jews. I don't hate anybody because of their religion. I hate them for the shit they do. I've had a few things to say about some of the evangelical Christians myself. And of course, we've all talked shit about priests and the things they've done. So it doesn't mean I hate all Catholics either. So please do keep that in mind. But yeah, I think I had seen a video somewhere where somebody was talking about that. In fact, I have to see if I can find it, but I don't know if I can. I don't know. I might get copyrights on here. But I have bitched and complained until pretty much everything was, I took out all the little tabs, so got it out of my system. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to. You're not old as fuck. You're only like 10 years older than I am. Maybe less. I think you're actually less than 10. I think you're only like 7 or 8 years older than me. So you're not even that old. Or at least I'm old too. Yeah, I don't know. Let me go look. Let's see. Let's see if we can find it real quick. Let's see what we get. Hold on. Let's see. Israeli artists. September 11th. Let's see if that will help us. And unraveling anti. Yeah, of course this is going to be the top results. Of course. Anti-Defamation League. Of course, the Anti-Defamation League is going to be the top fucking result. Of course. Anybody who doesn't think they have some kind of like pull on here, come on. Biscuits. Okay. Boy, they are. Goodness. Let's see. We have to go down a ways. Oh, wait. Oh. I guess we can look at this one. Let's see if this will give their name. Wait, what? What? Fuck. Hold up. Hold on. They become memorable in retrospect. Blah blah blah. Art students recently found their way in the headlines. Wait. When was this article done? 2002. Okay. Wait a minute. They paid a visit to Tinker Air Force Base. That's 8 miles away from me. What the fuck? Fuck? They were here? You've got to be shitting me. Well, I just learned something new. The fuck? Well, that's some madness. That's some fucking madness right there. Well, I didn't know they had come to Oklahoma. All right. Well, hopefully they'll explain, like, so, basically I'm just trying to find that group's name because they had some kind of fancy, like, little name. I don't know, maybe using Google's not the best thing to use because they like to hide shit. Fucking the sarcastic quote marks right here. I guess we use their thing, see if they'll explain. I am not paying y'all for news. Well, this is something y'all gonna have. I guess y'all gonna have to Google and find because I do not have a clue. Oh, but this tidbit right here, because the other day I did a little video countdown to try to tally up how many hostages are supposed to be left, and I came to the number of like negative 35. There shouldn't be any left because this wasn't talked about very much. But I figured, let's see, click on this. I do believe this was actually put out by the IDF themselves. Oh, that's Inside Edition. There's another one somewhere. Give me a minute. Entertainment Tonight. Here we go. This is actually published by the IDF themselves. So yeah, see right here, IDF. So this is their actual YouTube channel, and so they had told us that like 253 hostages were taken October 7th, but it shows October 12th that they rescued 250 of them. So all those people they've rescued since kind of puts it in the negative, wouldn't it? But I mean, this is the IDF themselves claiming that they saved most of the hostages. And then they seem to have glossed over it and kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. So yeah, they should be at like negative 35 fucking hostages. They're claiming that there's still another 120 something hostages. I don't understand how that can be. Because every fucking article you look at will say about 250 hostages were taken. So, you know, people are like, why don't you believe them? Because of shit like this. Because of their own words, their own claim to stuff, and then it doesn't add up. I'm no mathematician, but fuck. Yeah. All right. I think I'm okay for another day or two, but then I'm probably going to complain about some more shit. Let's see. Is it possible that some of the people that thought Yes, there has been a few of those, but they stay steadfast. They stay steadfast on the fact that 250 hostages were taken. Well, between 250 and 253, they haven't really budged from that. So they have sort of stayed on that, and so I'm going by what Israel is saying. They have, the amount of hostages they say are missing. Because if I, use Hamas's account, people will tell me I shouldn't believe them. Okay, and if I use just like the Times and the Washington Post, they'll be like, well, mainstream media. Fair enough. So I'm taking Israel's word for the hostages, and so by their count, it's not adding up. Right. Well, wait. Which one? The one I just showed? Yeah, it doesn't show much. Honestly, to be honest, it actually doesn't even look real. I mean, it looks like it's a training exercise. It's what it looks like. I mean, the IDF said they rescued 250 people, but this looks like a training exercise because I see the IDF running around and shooting. I don't see anyone else. Like they keep shooting, but I don't see any Hamas bodies laying about. So I think that clip is very interesting because it doesn't show who they're shooting at. It doesn't look like they're shooting at anyone. But again, I'm taking their word for it. They said 250 people were rescued. Okay, cool. That should leave only 2 or 3 hostages left. Clearly, that's not the case. And so I can't help but think that maybe, since he had supported Hamas for so long, that this was set up to just ruin the Abraham Accords and to basically be able to take the land, sell off the oil and everything else to make a shit ton of money, set up condominiums, basically all the stuff you do when you steal land, so that he would have an excuse to do it. And I think it's possible that the Hamas group didn't realize that was what was going to happen. And then, because somewhere there's an article, and fuck, I don't know where it is off the top of my head. I wish I did. Actually, let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on. Actually, it might be over in the Twitter section. Hold on. Because I think someone had an article of it and they were showing it. Ugh. So hold on, let's see. I think someone posted it in this particular thread. But it was an article that said that like a week after it happened, Hamas offered to release the hostages and Netanyahu said no. I think if that's true, then that's the moment I think Hamas realized they got set up and they were fucked. And they were like, ah, shit. Because I think before they just kind of did a few things here and there they were told to do just to kind of keep people on their toes and make it look like there was stuff going on so money would keep coming in. Ben Gavir is such a fucking psychopath. God help me. Let's see. Maybe it's over here. Okay, that's actually kind of funny. Actually, yeah, I think it's in her thread somewhere. Trying to see. Hold on. So I think someone posted it, and I'm just trying to figure out where. Ah, the history of lying about WMDs. Yep. So yeah, this is what I can't pronounce the person's name in the chat, but they were just talking about this. Oh, and apparently our government is deciding to try to set up in such a way that people who serve in the IDF will get the same benefits as U.S. veterans. What the fuck? That's madness. That is absolute fucking madness. But yeah, they're thinking. I mean, this country, our politicians are literally just wiping their ass with the Constitution. They are so beholden to Israel that they're just, they're just giving up everything to them. I mean, if they were behaving like this with any other country, nobody would be happy. And they shouldn't be happy with this either. I was really hoping I'd find that. That I like being able to show everything I'm talking about, so that there's no doubt to my word. I'm a little sad about that, but I'm not finding it. Oh yeah, let's talk about the organ harvesting they were doing. Well, okay, so I cannot find that part. Maybe I'll find it in time for the next live stream, so I'll be able to show it to y'all then. Because, well, hopefully one of y'all will find it, because I'm just not finding it at the moment. But, there we go. Oh, hold on. Oh. Oh, gelatin, that's it. That's right. I knew it was something bizarre. I just couldn't remember what it was called. Lots of hugs, Cheatwood. I hope you have a good weekend. If you get really mad, please tell me. Yes, in 1967, they supposedly accidentally targeted one of our ships, which is super bizarre because I'm under the impression that all of our battleships, carriers, all that wave the American flag loud and proud, so there's no misunderstanding of who that is. So they knew. They just shot anyway because they wanted to pull us into a ship with, I think, Egypt at the time. Well, I think it's way more than just treating people like shit. It's the land it's the land they want. There's a fuck ton of like gas reserves or something just off the coast of Palestine. And before the bodies were even cold, they had already taken the land and started selling off like leases and stuff to oil companies. Yes, they try to blame Egypt. Even though, you can generally tell the difference between Hebrew and fucking Arabic, generally. But, yeah. And I really feel like the survivors of the U.S. Liberty just don't get heard nearly enough. But they've been interviewed a few times, but it's just, you don't really ever hear about it. I think anybody being paid by AIPAC should be dragged in front of the International Crime Court. Straight up. And maybe even some of the influencers, to be honest. The ones that are pushing for that, to support this. Because think about it, this was World War II. Their equivalent of influencers back then also got in a bit of trouble. Because they were, hell, I mean, you'd get in trouble if you even associated with the bad guys. I mean, the French women got their hair shaved off for even associating. So these influencers encouraging this, I think they should have their complete internet revoked, to be honest. But I've got a thumping headache, so I need to go fix my headache. Because holy shit, my head. I can't even hear properly in my ears. But I am so glad that y'all were here. Oh, hold on. Yes, they do. They wanted to make basically a new Silk Road that would connect with Europe. And Palestine is right in the way of that. So, I mean, the billions upon billions of dollars in play here, because they would have that Suez Canal type thing going, and that's a shit ton of money of commerce. And then the oil reserves that are like in the Mediterranean, just off the coast. I mean, not to mention also the land development. I mean, they've already been, even here in America, selling like, letting people buy early land that's going to be developed. In fact, I believe Leonardo DiCaprio even bought some. So I think people should drag him out of his house and beat his ass with a stick. Well, associating with Mustache Man's soldiers, but yeah. Although, like, I feel bad for some of those ladies because sometimes, like, you don't have any choice but to associate. And they don't even explain quite how they associated. And they were just accused of associating. I mean, they didn't have any way of really protecting themselves. So some of them may have just associated just because they had to survive. I mean, if you're hungry and you got kids and shit, you may have to associate with unsavory people just to make sure y'all got food. So, anyways, I love you all. I'm super glad y'all were all here. It was awesome. Sorry it wasn't more smooth in my delivery, but this headache is just working its way up from the back of my neck into my eyes. And I'm just like, but yes, so you are absolutely welcome and encouraged to go check out the articles I showed you. Go, ask the uncomfortable questions, read between the lines, see what's being said and what's not said. Aw, I will try to make it better. Thank you so much. What do I call you? Like, I can't pronounce that. Although I may not remember the name right now in my head. Ooh. And I'm thinking about showing a movie tonight, but I'm not 100% sure. Like, I don't know. Like, there's a sequel to Half Baked, but I don't know. There's also a new, a semi-short South Park movie. It's like under an hour long, and it's called The End of Obesity, where Brie is fine. All right, or is it Bri? But yeah, it's a South Park movie that came out this year. Apparently, it's I guess they're making fun of the Ozempic and those fat loss injections people are having. So I'm thinking here in a little while, maybe I'll set that up. My head's feeling better because right now my ears almost ringing. Just a bit strange. I don't usually have headaches, and usually not like this. But yeah, it's altered my ability to hear correctly. But excuse me. Anyway, so yeah, I will see about possibly setting that up. So I guess check back on my channel here in about an hour or so and see if I have anything set up to watch the South Park movie. So if I do, then I guess just hit that notification and we'll watch it. Lots of hugs to all of you, and I hope to see y'all later. Yeah.